Hello everyone, my name is Chris Johnson and I am a student at the University of Adelaide studying software engineering. But more importantly, in my spare time, I create small independent games. Um, I'm putting this video on YouTube today to show the progress that I've made over the last week on my most recent game. And if everything goes smoothly, hopefully I'll have a new video out roughly every week or 2 weeks, depending on what visible progress I have to show you guys. And so, as I said, I'm working on a new game called Expand. And Expand is an extension upon a game I made for a game jam for the game development club at the university. And that game's called Everything Shall Eventually Come to an End. And if you haven't played it already or seen the video, I suggest checking that out quickly so that you have a little bit of context for this one. And so what I've been working on this week is trying to get the collision handling and collision detection working. As you noticed, if you played the game or watched the video, the collision handling and detection is a bit buggy, mostly because the shapes are very sort of hard to detect collisions for. So the first thing I wanted to fix this time around is I wanted to make the collisions spot on, nice, and the movement nice and smooth. So I decided to pick up Box 2D, which I've used a little bit before, and muck around in the test bed, which I've got open here, to see if I could replicate the system that I was after. And luckily for me, I managed to do that. So what you've got here is you've got a circle in the center that represents the inner circle from the game, and that is attached to this box here. And what this box does, it revolves around, there's a join here, and it revolves around that join. And then there's another join between these two boxes, which is essentially a join that will ensure that this box here and this box here are always facing each other. So when I click and drag this, I get the movement that I desire, like so. And I've got a sort of a wall here that you can run into. That just sort of showcases that things are working like expected. And so this week I created that in the test bed, and then I migrated that code into my own existing code to create this here, which is a small version where you can move the way you want to, and you've got a solid wall here, and it just verifies that the collision handling and detection works. This week I actually spent a bit of time on just integrating Box2D properly into my game. The second game I made for the jams held by the Game Development Club, I used Box2D as well, but I tied the frame rate and the rendering cycle in my game to the physics updating cycle, which caused a whole bunch of lag when you had too many objects on screen, and it was sort of terrible. So I've separated the two out, and I've sort of smoothed out the differences thanks to a really fantastic article which I'll post on my blog. And so now I get this wonderful movement and the collision handling and detection that works pretty well. At the moment it's a bit coarse because I'm only moving when I have a key pressed down, and it's only moving in incremental steps. One of the problems I had was I tried to apply a force to these boxes, but what would happen is, for example, if I am here and I can extend a bit further and I apply a force downwards to go around like this, what would actually happen is this. Oop, sorry, wrong way. That would actually happen where it would push out at the same time because the force was being applied outwards as well. And so I've ended up just manually moving the box myself while keeping the joint in place, which is actually great because now it means I don't have to manually rotate the box as I move it. I just tell it the new position to go to and it moves it for me. I also tried to work on fixing my time step. There's a few issues there which I have to look into. I think it's because I am delaying, putting an SDL delay in there which has a bit of an offset, and that's also causing the slight jittering that you might notice as I move around. I also quickly looked into different fonts that I could use in the game, and I've come to settle on Helvetica, and specifically Helvetica in bold. I have to look into the licensing about using that, but for the moment I intend to use that or maybe Arial bold, but probably Helvetica because Helvetica is nicer in my game. And so yeah, that's what I've been working on this week, and over the next week I plan to extend a few things. So I plan to change the movement into making it not so coarse. It doesn't look coarse here, but it is actually a bit coarse because it should be applying my own custom velocity. At the moment it's just shifting positions and it's a bit unsmooth. Then after that I want to look into creating expanding bodies in Box2D, which is a bit costly, but hopefully I can figure out a nice way around that. Thanks for sticking with me here. If you liked what you saw today, then check out my blog at blog.cjohnson.id.au. Thank you.